Welcome, ranchers, to week number 2 of Mindfulness with Marsha Presents. My present gift number 2 begins with letting you in on a little secret that probably isn't really a big secret after I let you know what it is. Do you know that even the most gifted and mindful living people I know or I have read about and studied about are not mindful 100% of the time? You see, even for them, life happens, and so does our negative brain bias. And all of those other brain issues, like those pathways or habituation, all that stuff that happens upstairs in our brain. You know, I don't know about you, but this assures me of my humanness and the fact that I will not possibly ever be perfect in any endeavor that I'm doing, and that includes my mindful living journey. So with my humanness in mind, I know during the holidays, as much as I want to pay attention to my mindful journey, I'll need to have an intention to practice it and practice those strategies and pay attention to my intentions. Part of that reason is I've only been on the journey for a few years, and a lot of these things are not autopilot yet. And part of it is that when other things are happening in my human life and my human life experience, those mindful things might trickle out because they're not the things that my brain wants to hold on to. Remember how the brain has problems sometimes holding on to positive things because it's not about life and security, where those negative things tend to be about security and safety, and that's what the brain's wired to do. So for me and you during the holidays, we need to set intentions. And so one of my intentions, just to give you some examples of, for me in the holidays, is not to overextend those fixed resources I have. You know, we've been talking about those. If you're just here today and joining us today, we have fixed resources. There isn't an unlimited amount of time. I don't have an unlimited amount of emotional energy to give to others and still have some for myself. I don't have an unlimited amount of physical energy. No, depending upon how many activities I've been doing at work and after work, my energy may be even shorter that particular day because of all the things that I'm trying to get done. However, even though this occasionally will occur that I might overextend my limited resources, is there something mindful? Is there a strategy that I could do when this happens? Let's hold on to that thought. A second holiday intention is for me to take time for myself, to savor those present holiday moments. And maybe they're not even a holiday moment. Maybe it's just a moment that catches your attention or catches your senses, and you want to stay there and savor it for just a few moments. So what happens, Marsha, when you feel like you're not being able to grab some of those present moments, that you're just on that treadmill, you know, or on that hamster wheel, and you're not allowing for you to have some intention for some present time? And finally, for me, the number 3 intention during the holidays, mindful intention, is that I want to be aware of the tension or stress that I feel in my physical body. You know, I know many of you know that I do deal with, I used to say suffer from, and now I say I deal with chronic pain. It's chronic physical pain. And I know that during the holidays or other times when I'm busy doing lots of activities, and you know, stress in the body is not just negative, it also can be positive. If you've got a whole lot of activities going on with your kids and a whole lot of activities going on with your family and a whole lot of, and the list goes on and on, they're all positive, but it also brings stress, good stress. And when I have stress going on and I get out of balance and don't take enough time for myself, for example, to rest, Well, I get out of balance and I have some physical pain. So when I'm not balanced, what can I do that's mindful to get me back into my mindful journey? So those three intentions that I'm going to be looking at for specifically during the holidays would be, number one, watching my limited resources and realizing that I don't have all the time in the world or all the resources to match. Number two, I wanted to make sure that I am not overexpending so much that I don't have present moments, those present pauses. And number three, how do I keep a little more balance in my life during the holidays? So in all of the three examples that I just gave you, and I think if you come up with examples, I'm pretty sure that they can all be addressed just like my three by turning towards these really easy mindful body activities. Oh, sure, there are lots of activities I could share with you right now. I mean, I could tell you, take time and go sign up for yoga and do some yoga, get to your mat. But I want these activities to be really simple and to align with these magical presents present. I want to make sure that they're ones that can be done easily with a little time in any location. I'm here to tell you, even a bathroom, you could do these if you need to. They're all really great self-care pauses, and they're all proven to provide some results. A pause, a mindful pause during the holidays, and really during any time of the year. Because I can attest to you, I do all three. I've been using them and continue to use them on a weekly basis, but I'll ramp it up during the holidays because I know those three intentions that I've set for myself to be mindful during the holidays, I'll be using one or all of these three. So what are the three, you ask? Well, the first one is pretty darn simple and easy. It's called seated mindfulness breathing. Number two, let's call it dynamic mountain. And number three, I'm going to call it mindful mountain. Now I've attached the directions, so to speak, of how to do all three to this email. And they're not like huge directions. They're really simple to do. But basically, number one, having a time to do a seated mindful breathing, it's exactly what it sounds like. All you need to do is give yourself a time to pause, and if possible to sit, because that's all the better to be able to really focus in on your breath. And yeah, I hope this isn't too much information, but I have done this in a bathroom stall and in a person's bathroom, seated on the edge of the tub, just simply paying attention to a few good deep breaths. It's amazing how this can help with your mindful journey. Number two, dynamic mountain. It's similar to just a really good stretch. The only difference is you're just going to watch a little bit about where your hands are facing, just to do a little bit more mindfulness there. It's helping you look at your hands and figure out where you're at so that your focus is on the stretch. Remember, stretching at any time helps the body in blood flow, helps you to get back to where you are at the present moment, to step away from whatever it is that might be pulling you away from that at any moment. And the last one, Mindful Mountain, well, this is one of my all-time favorites because it allows me and will allow you to be present and have a present attention to your body without judgment. Now, what does that mean? Here's an example. If I start to feel stress, which I often do, and tension in my neck and in my shoulders, I just say it out loud or to myself, wow, there's some tension here. It feels rather stiff. There's some pain. Ooh, maybe even some knots. But I don't say, and you shouldn't have been up all night baking those darn cookies or you wouldn't have. No, that's a judgment. I'm not making any judgment of why it's here or why it may or may not. I am just saying it's here. And then the second thing you can do once you just acknowledge it, just acknowledging the tension or the feeling in your body. Maybe, you've just come out of a conversation with family that didn't go so well, and you're kind of feeling it in your tummy, kind of that, "Ugh, I can't believe this is happening again" feeling. But again, you don't make that judgment. You just say, my stomach feels upset. And just stay with it for a moment and just recognize it. Just making attention to your body can help settle not only your nervous system, but sometimes that feeling that you're having. Now, if you decide in a particular area you might need attention, for example, I could say, well, I'm at home. Why don't I get one of my hot heating pads and put it on here and sit down for a few minutes and just let it heat this area? Or I could give myself a little self-massage. Now, obviously, it depends on where you're at. I'm not going to probably do a self-massage if I'm with people, but I could do a chin to chest kind of stretch and stretch, or an ear to ear, or side to side. I mean, that would be okay to be able to do in public. So just those quick little strategies could allow you to provide yourself a little bit of self-soothing. Quick, easy, and will absolutely not only help you feel like, hey, I'm in control and I'm being mindful, but also will help alleviate whatever it is that you're feeling at that time that you've deviated from your intention. So this week, please take a pause and try at least one of these gifts, just one. And gee, if you want to go for it, try all three, because see, here's the thing. If you try them and practice them when you don't actually need them, well, that's key, because then when you need them, it won't be, I'm in the bathroom and I'm just going to have a total meltdown. I can't believe my sister said. No, you go to the bathroom with the intention of, I practice those. Which one of those three could help me right now with what's going on with my conversation with my sister? And then you practice it and see if it doesn't make a change in how you're feeling at that moment. So until next week, please be well.